A young lady at a high school that would come to school every so often. She had F's because she was never there. And our mentor went up to the young girl once and asked her to have a competition. How many pop stars can you name in 30 seconds? And the next week she saw her in the hallway and she went up to her and she says, let's have the competition again. The next week, the young girl sought her out and said, let's have the competition. By the end of the year, she was coming to school every day. She was a straight A student. She was staying after school and mentoring others. Why? Because somebody took the time to develop a relationship. And it started simply by asking a question.
When kids experience what we and others are calling a developmental relationship, they're dramatically more likely to be motivated in school, to be optimistic about the future.
They build their own will to want to learn, and I believe that they feel connected to people. And as humans, I think inherently we all want to be connected to other people and something bigger than ourselves.
So when kids don't experience developmental relationships in their lives, we find very high correlations with much higher risk behavior, poor grades, worse outcomes.
They don't have as much motivation to work. They think any sort of criticism is an attack on themselves.
Our kids live in very chaotic situations and they need to be grounded. And in a relationship, they can be grounded.
We need to have that open communication where they feel comfortable to let us know what's going on.
So as we look at these kids who we know we need to reach and help succeed in school, and we're putting in place a lot of different strategies to do that, the thing they may need most is that relational connection with adults beyond their families.
When we talk about the importance of relationships, we see that as really being the essence and soul of the work that we do.
Relationships are so important in my teaching and the teaching that we do here at school because they just lay the foundation for anything that we do, especially with kids who struggle. If they're not finding that success, I can come down on them pretty hard because they know that I'm doing it out of a place of love, that I care about their success and their lives.
You can start expressing your ideas and your own opinion without thinking you're being judged.
There's sort of this idea that great relational teachers or youth workers are born and not made.
You can't build a relationship if you don't know what a good, healthy relationship is.
And what we believe we need to do if we really want to improve youth outcomes is actually create defined practices that people can begin to internalize and especially begin to use with all kids. Search Institute's new work on developmental relationships builds on 25 years of research that we did on developmental assets in kids' lives. Our new work is trying to go deep in that one thing that matters most, and that's those relationships through which kids become their best selves. Through 4 years of research, we've really boiled those relationships down into 5 key elements, and that's expressing care, challenging growth, providing support, sharing power, and expanding possibility.
The framework can just apply to anyone who works with young people. It's simple and concise. It's 5 things that we as teachers can do.
This whole year has felt so much more sensible and logical because I had that framework.
This is the basis of life, building relationship, being connected to something.
And so the longer term vision we have is really to activate that active ingredient of a developmental relationship in a school, in a family, in a youth program. And an active ingredient we mean like yeast in bread. It's that thing you can't do without that brings the rest of it to life.